grow your stock. We're going to wrap this training up by going over how to grow your stock, which means becoming the greatest version of yourself through self-accountability, asking more than telling, challenging yourself, and developing the people around me by being a pro in everything that you do so you are now valuable. The first step in doing this is to be the best version of you before anything else and lead by example. Become an asset to your company through planning action and accountability. Not only will this help you within your position, but it will inspire others to do the same. Become more valuable than what you're paid. This means going above and beyond in everything you do without expectation that you'll get something back. I know you might think that sounds crazy right now, but if you become more valuable than what you're paid, you'll get more opportunities to move up or eventually be in a position where you can now negotiate your pay. That only happens though with the best. So do what it takes to get there and always communicate your intentions to grow. Your company will want to invest in you once you've built a brand that drives new business to your location through going above and beyond. Build relationships with customers and your coworkers. And by relationships, I mean real friendships. The old saying goes, it's not personal, it's just business. But we are trying to make our business personal. Be a friend to those around you always, and you'll realize how coldly the industry has actually been treating customers and how that's something that absolutely needs to change in order to progress. The last big part of leading by example, as you might guess, is to always be confident in yourself and be a student of the business. Now, I know this is hard to teach and even harder to do when you're new to something, but always being open to learn and being confident when putting the things you've learned into action will inspire those around you to do the same. Uplifting yourself actually uplifts those around you. Confidence is contagious, so don't be afraid to show it. One of the hardest things to do, but most rewarding to grasp, is the ability to be vulnerable and ask for help when you need it. Being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness, but a position of strength. Showing that vulnerability in a meeting when you need help actually shows those around you that, one, it's okay for them to do the same thing, and two, that you are willing to learn and grow. Consistently ask for feedback from those around you. Ask, hey, is there anything I can be doing to get better? What could I have done better in that situation? What did I miss? Ask these to both your coworkers, ask yourself. It is vital to always be self-reflective. That's the only way we can really improve. Be sure you're also asking those around you if they need any help with their position or if you could be doing anything better in your position to make their job easier. Any feedback you get to improve yourself as a professional will display humility that people will start to gravitate towards. They'll begin to reciprocate that, which indirectly make people look up to you as a leader. Whether you're a salesperson, sales manager, or detail manager, anyone can be a leader. Lastly, this has a lot to do with the previous point. Be your own biggest critic. This means holding yourself to a higher standard than any boss, leader, or anyone in a position you interact with. If you hold yourself accountable in everything you do, you'll reach levels that you can't even imagine right now. Be the first to admit when you've made a mistake and apologize for it. Take ownership and then ask how you can improve. Again, humility, vulnerability, and self-reflection are absolutely key. Ask yourself, did I accomplish everything that I could have done today? Did I settle for something less than what's possible? If you find yourself answering with, I'll just make it up the next day, you just created a domino effect that will continue far beyond that next day. Always push yourself to get everything you can done because there's only so much time in a day. I want you to handle every situation like a pro, even if you don't always feel like one. Always improving your professionalism is more than just dressing professionally, right? It's actually being a professional even in times of frustration. When emotions run high, it can be easy to lose control and get mad. The second you start to raise your voice, you're not being a pro or handling the conversation in a way that you'll accomplish what you want. Be understanding and empathetic, like how we've taught you to be towards your customer. And another piece of advice, never lie. If you ever lie, you always have to try to remember what you said, and as I've said many times before, a system based off memory is destined to fail. Respect everyone, yourself, coworkers, and customers alike. Sometimes this can be difficult, especially if you feel like you aren't getting the proper amount of respect back from the people around you. This is what I've always said when dealing with a coworker who isn't reciprocating the respect that I'm showing them. I would say, Listen, I treat everyone with the utmost respect, but also expect that in return. If there was a breakdown in communication or if I did something wrong, let's talk about it and figure out what happened so I know how to handle it the next time. It's always better to air out any concern you might have with your coworkers in a respectful way like this. Don't hold it in. Be professional. If you don't, and you just keep those feelings bottled up, it's sure to lead to passive aggressiveness and eventually blow up. It is especially important to maintain this level of professionalism when you're interested in a promotion and want to talk to your manager about it. There are a few concrete steps that you have to take in this process to be successful and show your manager you're a real pro and you care deeply about your job. First, schedule a time to sit down with your manager. Do not try to have this talk on the fly in the middle of a workday or catch your manager on their way to their car at the end of the day. Second, be prepared and know what you want to talk about. Know your numbers, what you do well, what you need to work on, and so on and so forth. This will show your manager that you've really thought over why you deserve this pay raise or that promotion. Self-awareness, self-reflection are major traits of a great leader, like I said. And if you approach this conversation like this, your manager will recognize that. Third, expect criticism. A great leader also knows the strengths and the weakness of their people. Just because you do the majority of everything well does not mean you have nothing to work on. So be humble and look forward to getting that constructive criticism, to learning what it'll take to get better. Fourth, go in with good intentions. If you ever approach the situation thinking you're invincible because you make a ton of sales or have decent gross margins, you're wrong. You're thinking wrong. That alone does not make you someone who'll be a great leader. Approach the conversation confidently, but know that you have a lot to learn. Something I've always used in conversations like these is I am very confident in my performance and what I've learned, but I also know the second you think you have it figured out, you stop growing and start to plateau. I want to learn as much as I can from you, and I want to continue getting better where I become the best leader this company has to offer. So if you could provide me with feedback on what it'll take to be a leader in this company, I would appreciate that more than you know. Fifth, request a follow-up date. Whenever you request a review, feedback, or anything similar, ask for a time frame of when you can expect from them to get back with you so you're both on the same page. And don't have to assume what "we'll get back together soon" really means. Use this to verbally confirm when you'll get back together. Okay, boss, I don't want to bother you before you have time to think about this, so just to make sure we're on the same page, do you need a few days or a few weeks? I would love to get a time in the future so we both know when we can expect to get back together. And lastly, thank them for the opportunity. There's nothing worse than someone who isn't appreciative of the time that was taken to have these conversations. It goes both ways for top-level pros. They know how much time it costs to be out of commission for an hour of the day. For a GM or a leader within an organization, that could create a lot of extra work or affect more people than just themselves, so always be appreciative for any time invested into you. When I say grow your stock, I mean increase your value by accomplishing more. There are so many valuable points within this video. I would make it a routine to watch this one consistently, to remind yourself what it really takes to be great, what it really takes to accomplish what it is that you're working towards, to create a brand which everyone gets behind and a brand that's strong. You can accomplish greatness, but it's not easy. It takes consistent effort and discipline. If you take this to heart, you'll reach heights that most never get to experience. So my question to you, are you going to be one of those people? Make it happen.